Yvonne Stevenson Powell was tired of seeing many of her fellow residents at Topeka Correctional Facility parole out and then come right back on another case. She wanted to fight the root cause, the trauma of domestic violence.
A young lady told me a story when I started this. She said, I had a choice. They give me $50 gate money. I have to decide when I get outside of this door, do I get me something to eat? Do I get a motel room? Or do I just take the $50 back to him, deal with the beat up, and I have a place to stay? I wanted her to have a different outcome. And all of us ladies wanted them to have a different outcome. There's got to be a way that we don't go back to that. But I don't know how not to go back to that if I don't have a resource. And they get their resources here 10 to 15 days before they leave. Well, it's too late by then. I've already called him and told him, okay, honey, I'm coming home. And I go right back, and the first thing he offers me is, hey, get you some of this. And then I'm back out there selling my body, selling drugs, committing a crime. I don't want them to do that. I want them to have an option.
Along with other residents who strongly felt the need to provide other women that option, Stevenson Powell helped organize this one-day conference called Built from the Bricks Up, a day of leisure within the prison for many residents, but also a day of learning and healing for all, with the focus on domestic violence. Statistically, 1 in 3 women in the U.S. will experience domestic violence. However, within female prisons like TCF, roughly 85% of the residents have a history of domestic or sexual violence.
We don't talk about our traumas. We don't, because everybody is raised to be silent. Let's be quiet about it. Don't tell what's going on in this house. And then they end up here, and they don't have an outlet, and they stuff it, and they stuff it. And then they go back out there and do the same thing and come right back. We want to teach them how not to come right back. We want to get them some resources and let everybody know it's okay to ask for help.
You may feel like your future is gone, but I'm living proof that that's not true. It's not over.
One of the speakers for the conference, Carrie Travis, says she didn't know how to ask for help as she grew up in a home with an abusive father. In that environment, she says her dreams were squashed. During a 2-week stretch when she was 18 years old, she was kidnapped, raped, and human trafficked by 2 people she thought were friends. They went on a crime spree in which they robbed people at gunpoint with Carrie tied up in a getaway van.
And I was actually charged with aggravated kidnapping, aggravated robbery because I knew my kidnappers. I was told that I was guilty by association because of the people that I chose to pretty much be around. Like, I was totally scared. I didn't know anything. I was an 18-year-old girl, first time ever been in court, first time ever been in trouble.
After serving 15 years in prison, Carrie turned her trouble into talking points.
My biggest passion is working with women who have been raped or young women who have been trafficked, even children that have been trafficked, because you don't really see the signs. It's so strange. Like the people that come into your life, you won't even realize that sometimes those people are the kind of people you don't even know. I see a lot of women that get out of abusive relationships and go right into another abusive relationship. And I want especially women and young girls to know, you do not have to take that. You do not have to take that. That is not who you are.
Yep.
There's a demon inside of them. Whatever you're doing in life is not causing that to come back to you.
Sometimes we see abusers who are pushing substance abuse because then it makes it a lot easier to control that individual, right?
Another speaker, Misty Campbell with University of Kansas Criminal Justice Program, has served victims of violent crime for more than 15 years. She is one of the leading experts in the region on providing support for the victims of domestic violence. She explained physiologically why women stay in unsafe relationships and the need to build intellectual paths within the brain towards safer relationships.
One of the things that we see happen with intimate partner violence especially is you're just trying to stay alive. And remember I said when you're young and you make a decision and it keeps you safe, it makes a map for you, right? It makes that route. Same thing happens when we're in an abusive relationship, okay? Every time we do something and it keeps us safe, we get another route that happens in our brain. And every time we do that, it makes it easier for our brain to go to that. Because the fact of the matter is, even though our brains are really complex, they're actually quite lazy, okay? They're just going to go back to what they know over and over and over again. So we have to make decisions that move that map. And every time we make a decision that moves that map, we reduce that threat.
Campbell also reiterates that women should not be defined by an unsafe relationship that they're in.
That there are a lot of reasons that we end up in relationships that are unsafe that don't necessarily always have anything to do with us. The key is, can I figure out what is happening, right? Can I recognize that early on? And can I then move forward with the choice of knowing I deserve more than this?
An important aspect of this conference for the ladies was hearing that the message of addressing domestic violence and helping with recovery was also going to their male counterparts.
In the men's facility, we're focused on treating the person who has been the perpetrator of domestic violence, obviously not to do that, but to transform them into a safe person. And then here, we're trying to educate the women on how do I make changes in myself so that I can identify safe people and I can identify people that are not safe. So then what resources are available to me to stay away from those kind of situations.
Along with concession stands with food and drinks for each resident, the conference also had booths of support groups offering packets of information from reentry, mental health, and domestic violence.
Having not just us here, but I've seen a couple other educational institutions. Those are amazing protective factors against experiencing violence that aren't just the support services we provide. They actually come in on that prevention and protective side.
Going through this conference and even finding more information and building more information has definitely helped me just find more peace in my path, relationships and friendships, that finding my self-worth. And I think that's the biggest thing, just finding my self-worth and trusting my gut instincts more than anything.
TCF Warden Donna Hook is proud of the residents who helped organize this day's event.
It's everybody. Everybody's getting involved if they want to. And they're really encouraging everybody to get involved. So that's why you see so many people here and so many people in the gym and even outside. It's an all-day event, and it's been an amazing thing that the residents have put together.
This is a big
and their sponsors.
Hook says today's event will undoubtedly become an annual conference. Our congratulations to the resident organizers, their sponsors, and administrators. Great work, Team TCF.
Did you get your name worked out?